Well, this is Soul with another video, and today we're going to take a look at the February trading post. This one is a doozy because not only are we getting the trading post, we're also getting the outlet. So we're going to show, well, pretty much everything. This is going to be quite a doozy. It's going to be a long one. Use the navigation to get to where you want to go. Like the video, subscribe for more stuff, and let's get to reading. Join the vendors at the trading post to commemorate another year. They're offering more than just February fare. Visit special outlet vendors in Dornwell to peruse many discounted and returning items. Join the celebration with a bang when you earn this month's reward, the lively pack of lunar explosives right back there, along with earning an additional 500 traders tender. You'll look explosive. Kind of nice, kind of cute, not super crazy like we've been seeing in the past couple months, but oh well, can't get them all. Visit T&W for all the good stuff, and now let's take a look at what is good. We have what looks like a new mount, the Cloudborn Razorwing, and I'm going to try my best to sift through and make sure that we can see everything here, thanks to the Wowhead site, so excuse if there are like load times and things like that. So, very snazzy looking. And then now we can start looking at the stuff, starting with the Silver Moon Sweeper. This one's a familiar one, the cool kind of broomstick that's, well, turned into like a kind of vehicle of sorts. Very nice. This is going for 600. We have the Cloudborn Razorwing. This is the thing that we're just seeing right up here. But it is a it's a wyvern skinned. That's the kind of skeleton that it's using. Looks pretty cool though. Not my thing, but like I said, it is pretty cool looking. So, what else do we have? We have the Furbelly Rolling Paw, which is a pet. A cute little pet. Hey, check it out. Aha. All right, let's take a look at the Armored Transmog appearances right on screen first, and then we'll get through like the list. So we have the Ornate Lunar Festival Attire. Ooh, that one's pretty nice. And then we have what I think is even cooler. What's this called again? The Southguard's Golden Raiment. Oh, that looks pretty good. Nice and thick. The typical kind of like trench coaty sort of look, but it's pretty thick up top as well. Pretty nice. We have a basic pink set with a quiver, a rosy sweatsuit, and the rosy actually I did pick up I think it was a carrot colored one or an orange colored one that came in last month. I just ended up kind of giving up and I went ahead and grabbed it. So we're going to go through the list and look at most of these in the 3D look. So we have the War Slippers. So we have this pink set right over here, and these are going for these are like super cheap, thank goodness. But we're going to be in for the long haul. We're getting extra tender and everything, but there's also going to be a lot of stuff to spend things on, especially if you've been saving for a while, because maybe you were saving for, I'm going to save for decor if it happens to come out, and that turned out to not be a thing. So these are the war wraps, and here's like the skirt, in case folks want to take a quick look at that dump truck right over there. Just kidding, Blood Elves don't have anything like a dump truck at all. I think this is the longer version. It's the longer version. Okay, right on. And then we have like sets coming out of like some of the things we're looking at. Some of the leggings plus skirt. Cute, sort of. I've been saying for a while that, this set has not really been my thing. So whenever it comes out, it's like, okay, it's kind of nice, but I'm probably going to pass these up. That's how it's usually been for these kinds of things. We have this toque. Actually, I think I might have said it right for a change. So give me an upvote if I actually got it right this time. And this one's going for a good solid 50. Right on. And some of these do happen to be returnees. This one, okay, I think I need to zoom out for this one. Nope, this one's just not going to come out right. But we're pretty familiar with the look of this one. We've seen these like a number of times now. I think we have like a little bit of a picture there. There you go. Thanks, Wildhead. And then we got a pink quiver for those interested in that sort of style. Right on. I'd love to be able to hang some of the stuff up in the house someday in Blizzard. And we also have kind of a more standard looking one, but then I think we've recently got a set where we got like a whole bunch of different colors of quivers, if I recall correctly. And then we have the rosy headgear, which I believe we've gotten already, and this is going to, I'm pretty sure, come as a set. You just have the hooded version, and then you have this mask version, which I really like. And of course, we have the sweatsuit that we've seen before. Here it is in 3D form. Cute. And here is the hat and cape that we saw from before. I mean, the fact that it's hiding the hair that much doesn't give me high hopes for folks who have really long hairstyles, but, well, for folks who like that sort of style, it's all good. And let me scroll down here just to make sure we're all on the same page here. So now this is the Sindari Captain's Mantle. Seems to be kind of a separate guy. And that's not bad. It's nothing that's, it's a little crazy, but it's not nearly as crazy as other stuff that we've been seeing lately. That stuff can get kind of wild. And here is what looks like a purchasable version of what we're going to get from the monthly reward, which makes the monthly reward feel a little bit less unique than it ought to be, but it's still pretty cool, if not extremely unsafe. Excuse me. And then that one is going for 250 tender. Then we have some of the bigger attire, which I believe this is a Verturney. I think we have seen this before. Yeah, it's pretty cool for folks that are into like this sort of style. So it's pretty unique. But I'm a little bit more interested in this one right here. This one's going for 660. So, you know, we're kind of getting up there. You know, we have a lot of 3D details that we have like right here on the neck part, as well as the shoulders. I kind of like the gloves. The gloves have a cool thing to it. The boots are a little bit plain on the 3D texture, but the design is pretty neat. I dig the belt too. You know, for this is really big for like the AQ fans for sure. So those are those appearances, and then now let's take a look at weapons, such as wooden short bow. Oh snap! Check this out. And what else? I think we have like the gallery here. So we'll take a quick look at this here. So we have this, you know, more AQ stuff. So we have the golden great blade. We have this court staff, longbow of the shattered sun. And then going down a bit, these look like a couple of reskins. There's the bow we were just looking at, a blade staff, and a hand glaive, among other things. There's quite a few things to look at. Those are the ones that just happen to be in the picture. Well, let's take a look. So here is a different skin of the bow. So something that matches the quiver that we were just looking at a little bit earlier. And then here is the hand glaive. Great for, well, Fury Warriors now that they can sport whatever they like. And I'm honestly a big fan of using fist weapons as their two-handed weapon now. Like I've been using like the big old wonky, you know, those crazy looking engineering gloves and all. I thought those were kind of cool. I'm sorry, I should be looking at the prices here too. So like those are going for 180. The hand glaive that we were just looking at goes for $130. And then here's the bow. So a bunch of these are going for like 130, like a sub 200, which isn't bad. But of course, these things add up really quick. I get what people mean when they're like, oh man, we don't have enough tender for anything or everything. I'm sorry. But we do have enough to get like select things that we might find to be our favorites. It's just a problem when we find, oh, you know, I have quite a few favorites. Please, come on now, help us out. So hopefully the outlet will help us out. But of course, if there's anything that we like from this month, we're going to be kind of screwed. We're going to have to wait until the next outlet comes along, since it appears to be a yearly thing. So here is one of the pole blades from the looks of it. Then here is the blade staff. So we're like around here, actually. Quite a few weapons that are coming out. You know, a lot of Blood Elf related stuff, and for reasons. So this is the Keldarai pole blade right over here. This one's going for $160 as well. We're still in that range, and things are going to get a bit more expensive. So here is this this golden blade. I don't recall if this is a reskin. You know, this feels like it's something new. I haven't seen anything like this before, but it looks pretty good. Looks pretty darn good. So there's a one-hander and a two-hander version of this thing. This one looks like, it's golden blade. So that is the one-hander, and then the golden great blade should look slightly different. Actually, it doesn't. I think even the handle is about the same length, but there is a one and two-handed version of it. So that's cool. And here we have this offhand lantern. This one's going for $250. So we're starting to go up on the price. You know, things are going for quite a bit. I mean, it has the cool animation and everything. I know for me, I'm not like that big on offhand. So I'd rather have a shield if I can get away with it. Now this one I'm pretty sure we've seen. This is the Firecracker Mace. It just doesn't look like it here. It's because it's kind of like locked, but there are some physics that go there. So folks who want to pick up that's cool. It has returned. And moving on, we also have the Jade Lunar Blade, which I do believe is a reskin, although it's pretty expensive, going for 300 tender. It's cool and everything, but dang, that's that's getting kind of up there. And then finally, we have this wicked looking polearm. Now, this does look really cool. It's expensive, just like the previous one, but it does have a really iconic look, very Pandaren. There's no denying it. And then here's again a look at this month's reward, the lunar explosives that we get for free, but then we can buy another one for, I think it was like 300 or something like that. But now we have the trading post outlet. There's going to be a lot of things to cover, from the monthly bonus items that have come and gone to pets, mounts, and toys, armor transmog appearances, and weapon transmog appearances. We're going through all of it, so strap in. Like I said, we're going to be here for a little while to make sure we see everything that's good starting, and then hopefully I got all this displayed right. I hope. So, starting with the monthly stuff, we got the watch. So here's the golden mobile timepiece, and take a note of the prices. Some of these are starting off pretty cheap, which is I'm thankful for, because some of these are pretty small, just wrist item. Some of these are pretty, I guess the word is basic, such as the Coward's Violet Target. I remember when this came out, this one was almost reviled. But if you happen to miss it and you want to pick it up, there it is, going for only $225. Next, we have these butterfly wings. These are also going for $225, and I believe that there are other variants of these available. They're kind of small. It'd be nice if they were like a little bit bigger. Moving on, this one does not seem to want to show up in 3D. That's kind of okay, but it's like a crazy water gun looking thing. You can kind of sort of see it right over there. Nice and cool looking. And that's going for $350. All right, next we have what is a little bit hard to see. This is Aura. So we got the little duck dude with the hat. And this one's going for $350. Now, what was it going for before? These are supposed to be discounted prices, and I know lately the prices of for the most part have gone down, and the discounts that we're seeing for like an equivalent duck, I think it's a little bit cheaper, but I guess it's because it's the monthly reward, so maybe it's just a little bit more expensive. And then we have this rat-looking dude. I actually don't remember this at all being the monthly reward. But I believe it. I just don't quite remember it. Crazy looking ears though. Going for $350 as well. All these pets happen to be going for $350. And here's the Naga pet. This one I kind of remember a little bit better. Not my favorite. Not exactly fashionable in the way that I would want it to be. And then we have these mounts here, including jellyfish. Crazy jellyfish. This one's going for $600 in this case. At least this one does fly. I'm not quite sure how it behaves in the water though. I know some of them they do give you increased speed in the water as well. And then here we have the Plunder Lords, Golden Crocolisk, some Thunderstorm level. Plunderstorm level stuff. Very nice. Going for $600. Now we got some ensembles going. Now this one's going for $750. I think this is kind of similar to the other kinds of, similar ensembles that we saw. So maybe it's not exactly like on a sale, but now it's available, because otherwise it was not available at all. Here we have the Crests of the Kingdom, which gives you all 4 of the different appearances. You have the Scourge, you have the Night Elf, the Orc, and Human setups right there. So it just brings us back to Warcraft 3 days. And then finally we got the onesie. Yeah. You want to look like a Murloc? Sure, go ahead. To me, the biggest value is the boots, followed by the backpack. All that stuff is, that's kind of my favorite parts of this particular set. This one's going for $850. $850, that's kind of brutal. I think that's quite a bit. But now let's move on to the things that are definitely discounted now, such as this toy that turns you into this. You get turned into a mannequin. This one's going for nice and cheap, going for only 10 tender, which is something I appreciate. And then here is the incredibly popular double-seated mount that goes for only 100 tender. You know, it was cheap then. It's cheap now. It's a bargain. So if you want to have the functionality of a two-seater mount, this is the way to do it. Is often my mount of choice whenever I'm going around. And let's move on to this cute little pet guy. Blub. Is it blub or bloob? I'll go with blub. Gotta get that sound in there. Cute little pet, going for 200. And then we have this scarecrow-looking creature guy, or like voodoo doll. I think that's the intent there. I thought it was like a scarecrow kind of thing, but it's still kind of crazy regardless. Next we have Bugsy, little animal right there, cute. Well, yeah, cute as could be, I suppose. Then we have this colorful beach chair. Those who want to represent, cool. Go ahead and pick this up, and it's only going for 200. Moving on, we have another toy, the Delicate Crimson Parasol. It shares cooldowns with all the other kinds of umbrellas, but this is just one kind of scene you can pick up. And I'm gonna kind of skip, and I'm gonna kind of brush through the other ones in case you wanted to just pick up like the different colors. Like there's the black looking one. Here is the green jade looking version right there, followed by the delicate silk, or kind of a very bright, almost like, I don't know, if it has tints of green going on there. Maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe my eyes are just going. Then we have this other pet, the Soot Stained Shale Wing, right over here. It's like fully rezzed out, so it's not even trying to look cute. It's just like, nope, I'm just a little tiny version of the actual mob. And finally, we have one of these, one of the early trading posts pets. I believe this, or actually, I believe it was a different dressed one, if I recall correctly. This one's wearing brown. I think the other one was wearing kind of a red sash, if I recall correctly. That one's going for 200. Then we have another bug creature right there. That's Nell. Some of these are just reskins, and so I'm just going to kind of gloss through these a little bit faster. Then you have this other colored one if you wanted to go for a different color tone. And finally, we have something that feels a little bit more like a pet, because it's like kind of like, you know, minified, but also made to try to be friendly looking. This is the Time Lost Salamander, and this one's going for 200 tender. Next, we have probably a favorite Murloc of mine. Because, I mean, look at the thing. You know, we got like the whole flag action. Yeah, this dude's ready for battle. This one looks pretty sick. Yeah, I think this is a cool one to get. And then we got mounts. We'll move on to some mounts over here. Starting with one of the cross-faction kinds of guys. So it's for the Horde, but it's a cat. You know, so if you want to pick that one up, it looks really good. Really good design. If you want to pick something like that up. And there's probably the equivalent. So there is should be an Alliance Wolf at some point that we'll see. Till then, though, we'll take a look at some other stuff, such as the Savage Blue Battle Turtle. Many variations of these, so if you want to pick up this one's going for 300. So here we go. Here is the Sentinel Warwolf. So here's what I was just talking about. So an Alliance version of the wolf. Pretty good looking. Pretty cool. Because it's a dog. You know me. All right, then we have this pet Claudius, who's all blinged out, awesome looking. I think there are other variations of this, or like other colors that we might find. This one happens to be going for 330 tender. Now we're going to go through a whole string of mounts here. We have the Skitterfly mount right over here with a little tiny bag for you to hop onto. We got Dinosaur. Those stomping dinosaurs. So here we got this one. Very cool. the copper resonating crystal. So this is the one I believe that we were able to buy for gold before, I believe it was before the War Within launched. We were able to buy it off of the black market auction house for gold. We didn't have to bid for it. We could just buy the thing and take it. So this is for folks who want to pick this up. And this one's going for, if I'm looking at this right, it's going for 500 tender. It's not bad. Here we have one of the early 6-month mounts. I believe that's one of them. This is the Dreadwake, and it did come by the trading post, and now it's come back again. This one's going for only 500 tender. Here's the Fox, Pink Fox. You want a Pink Fox? Going for 500, 500, 500. Go for it. Also appropriate for February, so makes sense. This happens to be the one surfboard that I happen to buy, the Pearlescent Wave Shredder. I didn't quite, there's one of the few impulse things that I got. I'm like, yo, you know, I just gotta get this one. Even though other variants came out shortly after, I was still okay. I still enjoyed this one. Very fun mount. And then we have the reins of the Majestic Peafowl. Majestic, yes. And look at that. Look at that tail. Ooh. Very nice. This one's going for 500. Actually, most of these are going for 500. Most is going to be for 750, which is kind of crazy. So we'll get to that when we get to it. Then we have Flying Purple Fox. If you want to go for this one, pink, purple, both, whatever floats your boat. Next we have the Underlight Corrupted Behemoth, a crazy old god fish. So you want to get that. You want to go for something like kind of crazy like this and take this thing over to Voidstorm? Cool. You'll be right at home for sure. Yeah, and then we have Kegleg's Radiant Crocolisk. So kind of similar to the other Plunderstorm mounts that we've seen. Here's another one. Kind of crazy that this one's still going for 600 despite being only a ground mount. You know, people tend to take value in that because you're able to use the mount in a variety of situations. Here's the old school riding turtle, going for 600 still. Woo, that's money. That's money. Yeah, good luck figuring out how you're going to afford all this stuff. Then we have the Blazing Hippogriff right over here. I'm trying to remember. Was this like a trading card kind of thing back in the day? Yes, it is. I remembered right. Good job, buddy. And then here we have the most expensive mount of them all, which I'm still surprised about. I mean, 750. You know, it's still showing up as this. Now, maybe, I don't know, are they discounted? You know, now I'm kind of wondering, is it just out there, or are they actually going to be discounted? I mean, this is how it's looking. So I'm kind of I'm kind of wowed by this. Like, if they're not discounting this stuff, it's like, huh. Is that okay? Aren't people going to get like kind of upset? Because in the first anniversary, there were discounts. So if there aren't this time, maybe that's for the sake of fairness, but I think people are going to get pretty upset over it. Well, I'm kind of speculating right now, so we'll just have to see. Moving on, we have a wrist. It's going to be part of a set. I think there are some of these things. I think there are a number of items that are going to be part of a set, so they are just kind of separated into its pieces. So it's going to be a bit disorganized as we go through this, but we'll do our best. Tropical Sunrise wrist wrap. So I think this is part of like that whole summer ensemble. You know, quick look. So there they are right there. So yeah, it's part of that particular look. I'm gonna kind of brush through this, and because we've seen, okay, maybe we haven't seen it, so I guess I should at least look at some version of it for you guys. Yeah, so you have these beads as well that go as part of the set if you wanted to go for that. Then here's a continuation of the summer stuff. Okay. And then we have these amber scaled treads. This is a different kind of skin that came out that, if I recall correctly, it is a rare type of boot that works for everyone. This includes Draenei and trolls that usually have their feet just jutting out of this thing. Now, of course, if you want to double check before you buy stuff, just do a preview on it and that'll show you for sure. I'd hate for you to accidentally buy something and then forget about it. And then you're like, oh, wait a minute, it's actually not working. Soul like totally tricked me and all that. And I don't want to do that. So these emerald scale treads are going for a whopping 30 tender. And here's something a bit more intimidating, these emerald scale treads. I don't know how this would match with much of anything. I actually hope that this is part of a set that I don't remember too well. But here are the emerald scale treads. This is going for 30. A lot of these are going for pretty cheap. Now the ugly black boots, this is something that I know I picked it up, but this is something that I would say was kind of worth it. Because there are quite a few, dark colored pieces. This is one of the few that can give you that sort of vibe with a fairly solid color. Then we have the white version of them right over here. Sexy. Gosh, look at that. Moving on, we have the Highborn Scholar's Gloves. The perfect solution for paper cuts, it says. But they're more like skin pieces. It's kind of tattooed on, very tight. And then here we have the Tropical Sunrise Sash. So it's kind of the summer wear. We're going back to the summer wear again. So here's part of like the whole diving belt set that we had seen. So in this case, it is the Copper Diver's Belt. And there are a number of different variations of this diving suit that you'll be able to find elsewhere. I believe there is a fishing version of this that you'll be able to find and work towards. It takes quite a bit of work, but one way to go around it is to buy something like this from the trading post instead. A la carte, I think it was still like kind of expensive, but at least you can get like kind of the pieces that you like. If you wanted to just be like, oh, I really like these gloves. These gloves are like sick. They're amazing. They got like little designs here and what looks like kind of like barnacles and all that. But some folks, not that big of a deal. Here's another one that looks kind of unique, also going for 30 tender. These are the Churning Sands Treads. Nice, healthy skin on right there. And then here's the version of the gloves, which looks like it has a bit of a flare out, but it's still a pretty solid piece and something that we've very commonly seen lately. All right, so I'm gonna kind of skim through the rest. So skim through this part. So now we have again the summer related stuff. The Spring Reveler's Dandelion Belt, going for 35. Then we have these dandelion boots, which you can barely really see as boots. They're more like kind of like slip-ons or slippers or socks. There you go. They're basically like socks. And then here we have the pants. This is for like the spring related stuff. I believe there's like some sets that you can get from Easter stuff. So here we have the High Lord's Ceremonial Drape, which I'm absolutely shocked that it's not just something that we got from the Legion remix or just anything Legion. It just happens to be this pretty standalone looking guy. But not too expensive. It's only going for 35. And so now we're going into like the 40 tender bracket. So we have shirts. We have an orange shirt. And here it is. I mean, still kind of inexpensive, but is it something that you want to have it take up with your whatever limited budget you have during this month, plus the extra 500 that you get? I'm not so sure. So that was the orange shirt going for 35, and now we're definitely in the 40 range. So here is the emerald drape, which kind of screams. Okay, not really. It's actually higher res than I thought. At first, I was thinking, oh, this is definitely 2004, but it's not. It's actually pretty elegant looking. Yeah, it's not bad. Obviously, have the Assassin's Shroud, which once again gives me like the whole, hey, don't we have this already kind of vibe? I mean, it might be a very close variant at worst. Now, this one I am less familiar with. The Regal War Cloak with the gold foil trim is how it feels like to me. And otherwise, a pretty straight cape right there. And now we have these fuzzy boots. I believe we're going to see like a number of variations of these, so I'll try to be quick on these after we see the first one. So Kind of a popular one that we've seen because it looks warm and kind of cozy. So there's a green version right over there, as well as what looks like a brown version right over, zoom in, right over here. Cool. So here's a continuation of the copper diving suits, and I'm definitely going to skip through now. So here's the complete looking set, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I mean, imagine setting up your transmog to have this set whenever you're in the water. That's kind of a, you know, it's almost a given. It feels like something that you ought to do. Or you go shirtless or whatnot, you know, that's totally fine as well. So I'm going to skip the rest of these copper items, or at least I'll very quickly brush through them. You can see kind of how the pants happen to look when they're actually on a model. So I'll just put these on, and here's how that looks. You're gonna need to get like most of the set in order to get that complete look. And here we have a different sort of long cloak. This one is also going for 40. Here we are. Very Legion feely. It's actually not bad. That's not bad. Some pretty good texture right there. But now we are moving on just a bit. Here we have the swap. So now we're moving on to the 60 range. So we got a couple items in this spot. So here we are with the Swabby's cap. Nice little tail back there. And then we have a, wait, really? It's a more expensive timepiece? So this one's going for 60. And I think, wasn't there a cheaper one? That's right. Yeah, I think that was the monthly one. Yeah. So kind of different. Not the same thing. That's okay. So here is this timepiece right here. If you want to pick up this version. Cool. And then finally here, and then also here is the red version, or the Horde version, if you want to pick that up. Yeah, not bad on the price though. And it's a very unique piece from what we saw from other stuff. Here's the pauldrons for the diving set. And here's a different tabard that I'm not too familiar with. The Tabard of Wild Might. I'm pretty sure I got it. I've been kind of collecting stuff lately. But yeah, kind of cute with the fuzzy skins. Then we have the tropical trunks. That's part of that kind of like that kind of Hawaiian shirt tropical set. Here's the ladies version if you want to pick those out. And then here again is the spring related stuff. A little bit formal looking, but tries to be festive. Now here is the Mantle of the Scholarly Raven. Huh, that's an interesting set right there. Are those teeth? I'm not quite sure how that is meant to be depicted. It's like this is like an open beak that's eating the skull or something like that. Looks kind of odd. Yeah, or is it like a beak? I'm not sure at all. And this one is going for, oh gosh, how much? This is the Mantle of the Skull. This one's going for 100. So we're definitely stepping up on the price now. So here's the tank, part of the diving set. And then we have a hat. A frenzied hat of Murky Waters going for 100 tender for a brown shark on top of your head. It's pretty cool though. I think I have one of them at least. It might have been this one, because I wanted to at least have one of these shark heads. And it is kind of cute. It is kind of cool looking. So now we're continuing on with the dress part, the spring dress. Going back to that, so we've seen a lot of things from that particular month or era, as well as the tropic stuff. So like here's kind of a fuller set of what's going on, or at least this is the shirt, and then you just pair everything up. So it's a good look though, especially when you want to go to the frozen north. Hey, how about that? There's a halter top if you want to like up the sexiness. That's all good. Here is the helmet for the diving suit, which for some I'm sure is like a cool favorite. The Vengeful Crusader's helmets. There are a number of variations of this one, and I do like this one. It does have a very intimidating Just a very cool look to it. And they try to get this thing to show up. So here it is. You got that whole blade right on top of the head. Looks pretty cool. I dig this one a lot. I believe it is plate only though. So you have those kinds of limitations, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, because it says plate right there. So get mad. Here we have the Helm of the Stout, which is, in this case, this is a nice example. This is cosmetic. This is not restricted to armor type. So here's the look of that. If you want to sport this sort of vibe inside your house or around town, it's all good. So that one was going for 100. And now we're going to look at a few items that are going for $110, which include this snazzy belt. Hey. Right over here. So you're in for the whimsy. This is the thing to use. You want to run a race in this thing? Yeah, go for it. And then here we have a nice little straw hat with glasses. Gotta have more of that, or at least try to separate these into different pieces. Next we have the Guise of the Royal Masquerade. For those who want to pull off that kind of Suramar look. I don't recall if that's the actual look of the Suramar masks, but if you want to get that sort of vibe, have something formal and put this on top of it, that'd be cool. This one's going for $150 though. Getting kind of expensive now. And I believe here is a different color variant of it, as you can see. I kind of like this color variant more. And then now we have a third one. Oh, snap. So there was the Royal, the Shining, and now we have the Golden version right here. The Arakoa version. If you want to... Well, okay, I don't know if that's really their color representation, but oh well. This one's cool too. The Ebony Crown of the Red Rose. Very darling. You know, very much matches its name. That one's going for $150 as well. Now things are getting even more expensive. We're looking at $175 for these sets of earmuffs. This is the Alliance version of it. All right. And then here we have the better version. Right over here. Like how I said that, huh? Moving on. We have the Battlefield Lover's Bow. Not an actual bow. Okay, it is an actual bow, but it's this kind of bow. It's not the kind of thing that you use to kill people. Is the one that you show off to look quite lovely. That one's going for $175. Now we have a different set of crown stuff going on. Somehow a little bit more expensive than what we've seen. Although actually, no, I take that back. I believe we did see similar kinds of crowns. So this is the one of the White Rose. And then we're going to see, I believe, a variant of this. That is more blue. And here it is. Right on. Next, we've got the Witch Doctor's Fetish Frame, which is this one right here. Now, this also happens to be a shield, which is kind of crazy. There's a shield that looks just like this thing, and it looks pretty awesome. As for the thing on the back, you know, it looks pretty cool too. It almost looks like a fist weapon, to be perfectly honest. And this one happens to be going for $175. But now we're moving on to the 200 range. Here's the Assassin's Bandolier. Right up on this guy. So you want to grab your stuff, throw your kunai things, or apply poisons or whatnot. This is the way to do it. Going for 200. Now we're breaking to the 225 range. So here we have a cool little sun hat. Straw hat, whatever you want to call it. Very cool that it goes all the way down and around. You know, that's kind of a unique thing. I mean, it's not that unique, but at least in WoW, we haven't seen too much that pulls off that kind of effect. And then here we have what appears to be a full ensemble. So this is the Spring Revelers Lavender apparel. Not bad on the colors. Not bad. Unless you just hate pink, then it's the worst. So, moving on. We have another bandolier. different color variant. Still the same stuff though with the kunai and the vials though. It's just the colors that change. Then here we have some more wings. Like I said, yeah, see, I told you there were some other wings out there. So there was the monthly one that we saw earlier in the video, and then this one happens to be one that is just normally part of the trading post. So this one is going for quite a bit cheaper. Next we have another set of wings, and I think there's like at least one more after this as well. So here are the kind of purpley wings. Amethysts is what they're pointing it out as. And then here are the so-called black wings. Where's the black? I'm not so sure. I guess it's the trim. But the actual window, the actual content of these wings, not exactly as onyx as we thought. Then finally we have one more set of wings. This one is very, very blue. Much better character than the one that's trying to be onyx. But well, it depends on if you like the color. Next we have this unique one. This one is the Deep Sea Treasure Pack going for 300, but it's got some crazy animations going on back here. Now this would be a cool thing to just put in the house. Like, just give me this as decor, and I will gladly put it up. I don't think I have this one, and I don't think I'm interested to have it on my back, but if I can have it on like my nightstand or on a table or super enlarged to look like they captured a Naga, then great, that would work too. All right, so now we're looking at the rest of these are ensembles. So these are going to be going for quite a bit. So first off, we have the Spring Revelers Lavender Collection, which is actually pretty cheap. This one's going for 300. Would look much better on the lady, but I'm going with this for brevity. Next we have the Fierce Buccaneers Slops. And we've seen this a number of times. This is a different color variant of it with the brownish looking belt, but it's got a good vibe to it. You know, it is understated. It is not too crazy. It is kind of a skin suit for the most part, but it's still not bad. So here's the full ensemble of what we were looking at earlier, complete with the balloon, the floaty belt, the wrist stuff, sandals, shirt, and all. So here's like full versions of these guys. Right here is the battle wraps of the Honored Valazar, which has a pretty gnarly look to it. You know, you have these contrasting reds, as well as the runic icons or glyphs that are floating above. So this one looks pretty cool. Now, am I going to throw down 350 for it? No, because it's leather. Because it's a leather piece. And that kind of kills the mood for me. I was excited for a minute though. I was like, oh, why don't I have this? Because it's leather. Who plays leather? Gosh. So here's the Solemn Watchman's Garb, which I do recall this one happened to be bundled with Tender in the shop, if I recall this correctly. I'm like, oh, wow. And then I bought it, and then I was like, wait a minute, this is pretty plain, and so I returned it. That's the quick story of that one. and I haven't really bought shop stuff since. I'm like, wait a minute. Don't worry, this thing does droop down, but it's not a bad set. For me, it was just something that I wasn't really interested in. And that one's going for 350. Now this one was cool. This is the Sky Captain's formal attire. It's cool because it just has the crazy hats. The hat's really crazy. I do really dig the pants and how it flows into these boots. I think I did pick it. I'm pretty sure I picked this one up. But it's pretty good. I like this set a lot. And this one happens to be going for 400. Here is the Waste Wander Trackers Kit. Again, a really cool looking one because it's got like some gizmos to it. It has a sort of goblin vibe and feel to it. You know, because it's a Waste Wander, so it has like this sort of Fallout, you know, kind of theme around it. It's just not a real mech suit, which would be incredibly awesome. Next we have the High Scholar's Arcana. A very wild looking set. Mages would love to have something like this. And you can have it for 400 tender, which is not that bad. Yeah, there's a lot going on with this thing. Some good 3D effects, solid. You know, it doesn't have, you know, it's not everyone's fond of the skirt or tunic kind of look, but in this case, it's just very elegantly done. Here we have the Twilight Witch's attire. We've seen the other version of this a little bit earlier, and this one happens to be going for $750. So we're jumping up hard this time. We're looking pretty crazy on the price. Still won't pick it up, mostly because of that. It's kind of wild. Next, we have the Plunder Lord's Radiant Finery, which I'm considering picking up, and I'm pretty sure it was $750 in the previous month too. Maybe I'm wrong. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I could have swore that I got that I saw this thing for $750. I was like, you know, I don't think so, but it's really good. And this is the one that I believe I'm still missing. So there's a pretty good chance during the outlets I'll be picking this guy up, which will be like, oh, such a big chunk of tender. Yeah, it's gonna take a big bite out of my budget. So what else we got? We have the Golem suit, or the Scarecrow suit, which is something I really like too. This one I also picked up because it's just neat. The hat is very neat, and the way that it's angled and whatnot, it has that sinister look to it. So really awesome. Very, very, very cool. Very expensive too. So I won't be surprised if you didn't want to pick it up. So here's the diving suit in its full glory. If you wanted to pick this one up as well, going for $850. Man, but it's got a lot of gizmos and 3D effects to it. So, and again, you know, if you want to use this thing as a situation whenever you're swimming, you just automatically switch to this outfit. You can do that. You just got to throw down, oh gosh, about 1,000 gold to apply it to an outfit. And then we have the Gladiator's Battered Armor, which I've kind of been waiting for to come back. So I'm glad it came back because I do want to pick up probably the gloves. I think I want the gloves the most. They just look fierce. They're wild. The belt, no. The belt is Alliance branding. That's just illegal. So I'm never going to do that. But the rest is pretty cool. It's pretty snazzy. So this one is also one that I may end up picking up, and that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot. And then we have the Dark Ranger General's Kit. Very popular one that a lot of folks picked up already. And if you missed out and want to grab it, February is your chance. Like I said, this is a pretty long video. We have a lot to look at because now we're looking at weapons. Now we're looking at weapons, starting with the cheap stuff, simple copper staff. You want to go back to 2004 or whenever this came out? This is the way to do it. You can go ahead and sport that one. Here we have the chipped Warblade. You know, not very high res. It's pretty low, kind of original stuff. I don't know exactly when this particular model came out, but it's cheap. And not to say that it shows, but you can kind of tell what was made recently and what was not. I mean, it's cool because it has like a certain like a drawn texture. You have some finer, you know, kind of finer details there that you don't see these days. The art style just kind of changed in that respect. It's not even so much, oh, it's better or worse. It's just different. You just have a different way of going about things now. And, you know, if you don't like it, that's cool. So here's a simple wand, also going for pretty cheap. And I believe this is just a reskin of it. Yeah, we just have a red version of it. I'm going to be kind of brief on that one. Here's a sapphire version right over there. And then we have this staff, which definitely brings back some vanilla vibes. I mean, there are different variations of this, if I recall. I'm not too familiar with this particular one, but you want to bring things back, you can bring things back. Now here's a modern style. You know, you have different kinds of details that help to give this a bit of personality and a bit of a unique look. But here we go. And this one looks pretty good. Pretty good looking stick. Looks like we're in the 50 range now. Costs. Here we have kind of another older version of a giant hammer, which isn't bad. Looks like those are almost looks like they're trying to write letters on there, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Then we got a bucket. If you wanna hold a bucket for like only 50 tender, go ahead. Go ahead. Here's the Deforester's hatchet, an old school look, but absolutely brutal in real life. If you were to see something like this, do not get in this person's way. You will be deforested. Next we have a staff, a crooked staff. You know, in the more modern style, you can see you have like kind of the bigger lines here, but also kind of softer as well. And we got the Forge Master's Gavel. Now this is pretty intimidating looking. This is kind of nuts. I don't recall if this is what reskin this is from. I don't think it's from Blackrock Foundry. I mean, it has that sort of vibe to it, but I don't believe it's the same thing. Still very cool though. This is the Forge Master's Gavel, going for a 50. Now we're moving on to like some bigger stuff. This happens to be an offhand, going for a whopping 60. This is kind of a lot. Do you really want to hold a Naru like that? For that much gold? Shucks. Here we have the Riptide Basher, which is just a brutal looking weapon. Made in a somewhat newer style. Going for 60. And here's a shield that I better have. I'm pretty sure I have it. I've been buying like pretty much every shield that's ever come out from the trading post, like right away. So I'm pretty sure I didn't miss this one. Doesn't look that bad either. Yeah, pretty good. Next we have the Band of the Riptide, which definitely has a certain, this looks familiar. You know, this reminds me a little bit of, not Tempest Keep, it reminds me of the Malygos fight. And one of the weapons that drop off him, if I'm recalling this correctly. This might be a reskin for all I know. Here is the Krokul Battle Scythe. A very short scythe. But if you're in range of this person who's holding it, I don't think it matters what is supposed to be like a legit scythe or not. Now we have the Frost Edged Dagger, which I am going to move on. Okay, we're at 60 again. This is most definitely a recolor. Pretty good though. Here's the Sanguine Bouquet, a pretty high-res looking set of flowers. It's actually quite nice for an offhand. Here we have the high-grade Blade of the Forbade. Kind of an old school looking thing. Looks like a kind of a single piece sword. As if, there isn't any actual like banding or whatnot. This is all like actually just a solid piece and everything's etched in. That's kind of how it feels to me. But still looks all right. Just throw the enchant on it. That hides everything. And here's a green version of the weapon we just saw. Yeah, so again, just throw a cool enchant on it and it'll be nice and convincing. I'm going for only 60, that's not bad. And this is pretty good too. Again, only going for 60 tender, but you have like this really good look to it, to this bow. This is the Feathered Bow of the Night. And here what appears to be, a bright version of it. Oh, this one looks really good too. This is the Feathered Bow of the Fallen. Very nice. Next we got the Bronze Beard Battle Mace. You want to go old school? This is how you do it. Really good looking. Really good. Like I said, very intricate design that you see on mostly older weapons. You don't see that same sort of detail on newer ones, but it's mostly, like I said, mostly an art thing. Here's the Fan of Cooling, an offhand. Very cute offhand. Next we've got the Sunreaver's Scarlet Tome. Okay, now that's kind of crazy. You hold this and then you can just kind of like shank dudes with the book. But it's considered an offhand. And it's not considered a weapon. At least not that I know of, right? Sunreaver, yeah, just off, yeah, I don't think so. Be kind of crazy though. And then here is a Thalassian version or a high elf version of the offhand. And here's a green, okay, not the same thing. You can see that that very bright glow, which the Wildhead client's not doing a great job of displaying, but it's meant to give like this sort of vibe to it. You know, really bright looking, something that you see from anywhere. I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually illuminate areas. There are very few. I don't think there are any offhands that do that. Some weapons do, but also, again, very few. And here's a dark iron version of the mace we were just looking at earlier. Cool. And here's another version. So we have a different clan representation with this particular mace. So if you want to represent a certain clan, go for it. If you want to do like dual wield it to show some unity, also very cool. So here's a brutal looking Warhammer. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is like another old version, but it doesn't look that old either. With the way that the etching right here and some of the textures look, it looks like it can be something that's new, but I am not very familiar with it. So it was added with War Within, yeah. So it's, I guess it's kind of new, but again, it might be a reskin of something that we've seen quite some time ago. And here is a recolor of this guy. And we're still in the like the 60s. We're still in the 60 budgets, if I recall. Yeah, so it's still going to be a little bit. So this is the last one that's going for 60. The Ancient Amani Warbow. Warbow. Longbow, even. Ooh, boy. Long video, like I said. We've been here for quite some time, haven't we? Oh yeah, we've been here for a while. It's like I said, it's a lot of stuff. This is the Trident of the Riptide. Now we're going into the 75 range of weapons. Pretty nice looking though. It looks a little short actually. It looks slightly short, but I'm pretty sure it's quite intimidating enough. Here's the Wand of the Riptide. Okay, this has a different vibe altogether. Yeah. Very, very different from the Trident we were just looking at. I mean, they're different weapons altogether, but I expected like a certain, I don't know, a certain kind of matching artwork. And it's, you know, not seeing it here, but it's pretty crazy. Here is the Riptide Slicer, a two-handed axe. And dude, this is intimidating. Yeah, this is an axe, all right. Shucks. It's more like a double-headed scythe of sorts. You know, you cut that off. Hey, look at my scythe. But then you have it on both sides, which makes it even crazier. And then you can just do a front stab if that wasn't enough. Now we have the Riptide Dagger. I'm noticing this thing on the hilt right here. That's kind of spiffy looking. Otherwise, it is a pretty old school looking weapon. Looks like just a recolor. Now we have the Riptide Gut Puncher, which is just, oh wow, that's crazy. We got this crazy old godfish looking thing with teeth coming out, but also it's got tentacles that are probably, you know, if you happen to wear these as a fist weapon, it's threatening to eat the rest of your arm. That's a kind of a fun story behind the construction of this particular weapon. This one's going for 75. And now we're looking at stuff that's going for 100. Now, this is definitely a recolor of something that I've seen with like a normal kind of a steel color. This one is just like super blue. Not really my flavor. Hey, but if someone wants to go for an all blue set, hey, knock yourself out. Next, we have the Scarlet Bladed Blunderbuss, another old school style in a different color. One of the favorites back then. I think actually it had to be a favorite because if I recall, this is the Gladiator skin, I think. Well, like some sort of PvP one. Then here's a blue version of it. So I think this was this might have been during the whole August trading post with all the Horde and Alliance kinds of stuff. Okay, now this one's cool. You know, this is a new style of axe. Has a little bit of decoration right there. But it communicates everything nice and loud with, you know, somewhat simpler lines. And we do have some fine details here with the etching of the wood. You know, there's some additional texture there, which looks really good. Yeah, hard to not admire this one. Now we got, excuse me, now we got Plunder Lord stuff. It's like, here's the hand cannon they have set up, which is really cool. Love the vibe of this one. One of the few things that would make me want to use this over the Wolf Slayer sniper rifle from Karazhan. Next, we have the rapier. This is a one-hander, one of the bigger one-handers that, or at least, I guess footprint-wise, one of the bigger one-handers that are out there. But it's a very thin blade, hence rapier. Next, we have this beast. This, dude, this thing's big. This is a polearm, yeah. So this polearm, quite the thing. I forget exactly where we get this. Might have been Pandaria, because it's, well, maybe not. But the fact that they're calling it a Jade Cleaver tells me, okay, maybe it is. But really cool looking. Just crazy. Then here's a recolor of this thing. This one has a much more neutral color to it. The earlier one had a kind of a twinge of green on it. And then this one, you know, this one reminds me actually of the Armageddon sword. I think that's what it's called, from the Four Horsemen from Karazhan. You know, the colors, the banding and whatnot, it just kind of reminds me of it. Or I'm losing my mind. It could definitely be that too. So here we have another, I'm sorry, it's not a fist weapon. It's a Warglaive instead. A very cool Warglaive with the way that the holdings are. I kind of like this better than the double-bladed, you know, that U-shape that we often see. I mean, it's cool and everything. It's very iconic, but there's something just like really badass about this particular look. And then we have, what is this? This is a crazy looking crossbow. I've never seen this before. I'm not a big, you know, hunter person and whatnot. So something like this just looks so intimidating. This is like some nightmare fuel sort of stuff. Look at that. That's kind of nuts. And this one's going for, 100. 100. Next, we've got the semi-transparent bow. Kind of looks like it came from space. And it looks pretty cool. Going for 100. Next, we got the Scarlet Shanker, which is, ooh, that's not the kind of thing you want to get shanked by. I mean, it's just a stick. It's just a pointy stick that glows, and it has, you know, jewels and whatnot that are coming out of there. But oh, that's okay. This looks really brutal as a weapon. But would I call it a dagger? Not so sure. And here's a red version of the Warglaive we were looking at. Also very, very cool with the effects and details that were put into it. This is really nice. Really, really good. And then here is the Shanker that we saw from earlier. This one happens to be a blue version. And then here's a sapphire version of the Warglaive. Oh wow, there are 3 versions to choose from. Oh, that's nuts. That's a lot. I think I would get the red one. That one seems to be like kind of the favorite of mine. That it just has like a certain personality to it that I really enjoyed. So this one is the Plunder Lord's Radiant Sigil. So this is the caster version of the Plunder Storm weapon that we've been seeing. Really cool look. This is the first time I really got a good look at the whole like steering wheel or whatever it's called. I'm so sorry. But it looks good. Looks really good. Now we're looking at two-handers from the Plunder Lord set. Really popular one. Really good looking. I mean, this thing's just beast. Look at that. It's called a cutlass that you hold with 2 hands. Is that a thing? I don't recall if that's actually a thing. Anyway, next off we have the Titan Thunderbow. Very cool looking. Not exactly artifact level stuff. Well, I mean, that's a gun, but this one is pretty cool too. Has that whole rail cannon sort of thing going on, where you got like the whole, yeah, it has like this magnetic gap and then just kind of shoots out. That's the fantasy in my head, at least. And then we have the Scarlet Axe of Asymmetry, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see like a couple of versions of these. I remember that being a thing. But yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, here is the blue, or purplish. Well, let's go with blue. It's the blue version of the axe we just saw. Cool. Then we got the Riptide Staff. Oh, this is kind of an older one, I think. I'm not familiar with the tentacle looking things. I don't know if this is supposed to be like something from AQ, but it looks like it would be, and it's gross looking. Like, is that like a sheep? It almost looks like that's a sheep and it's eating like the old god looking squid thing but the sheep has no feet at all. I have no idea if that's what it's supposed to be, but that is now the story I'm telling. Or the sheep, or maybe this is the new sheep's mouth. I don't know. I'm moving on. Anyway, oh, check this out. Ooh, this is a very cool bow. Ooh, this is very intimidating looking. It looks so heavy. There's just a lot to hold when wielding something like this. Like people will see you from space at this rate. Now we have a shield. Awesome. This is Love's Bulwark. Basic shield. Speaks for itself. Totally have it already. Next we have the Jeweled Ripper. Yeah, we haven't seen this one yet tonight. Well, because now it's night. If you've been watching it for this long. Very cool though. Pretty crazy looking. Here's the Virulent Gavel. Oh, that thing's that's dripping gross. Oh boy. And this is a one-handed mace. This looks kind of cool looking, actually. I'm not certain where this one comes from. But yeah, really nice. Really nice. Going for $1.50. So things are starting to get pretty darn expensive. So here's a battle axe that happens to be a one-hander. But it's also going for, as said, we're in $150. We're now in that sort of realm. Looks pretty cool though. Although there's nothing there, so this thing should just kind of fall off, but you know, it's magic. Shield that everyone ought to have, because shields are the greatest. This one is the Corroded Augury Defender, and going for pretty expensive, going at $150 for what is essentially a recolor. Then we have these kinds of this kind of flowery axe that we saw from, oh shucks, I don't remember when it was. I remember some people were railing on it, but it has a really clean look to it. Yeah, this one does look pretty cool. $150 though, you know. This is the Lavish Floral Edge. This is a dagger, and at least it's pointing like a dagger. You know, so you definitely don't want to get hit with this one. But it does like, oh, that's kind of cute. It has the petals kind of sticking out from it. That's neat. And then we have this. Is this an offhand? The Sunny Bouquet? No, it's a bouquet. Get it? Now, yeah, I'm not recalling it correctly. Some of these have a certain look to it, so they have like a certain effect that changes. Yeah, here we go. This bow shoots flowers and auto attacking. So this one is, you know, a little bit special with what it can do. You know, you fire it off, it shoots flowers, and maybe you care, maybe you don't. I'd say try it out and see how you like it. Right here is the Lavish Floral Stock. Plenty intimidating. Like a giant glowing holy thorn that you're gonna shank someone with, and there's really no coming back from that. It looks really cool. And then we have the Sunny Floral Staff, complete with the giant sunflower. It's good. It is cool though. It's just a very neat look. Yeah. It's still intimidating though. Like you don't want to get swung. You don't want that thing to be swung at you. This right here is the Envenomed Gut Ripper, dripping with some poisons. I don't know from where, and it's like wrapped in like all sorts of like weird waxy stuff, but definitely a killer weapon with some interesting contrast with the colors. Gosh, I'm starting to talk about this like it's housing now. I think I'm getting in trouble. So here's the Warhammer of Hubris. Very intimidating. You don't want to get hit with any part of this thing. Yeah, from the hardened gem to the horns and all that, to the crystals that are behind said horns. Yeah, you can't even really block it because then you're going to end up getting your arm impaled by the smaller spikes. So here's the water gun again that we had seen. This is just a closer look at it, and probably another one of my favorites. I don't think I picked up any variation of this yet, but this is something tempted to pick up for only $1.50. And then we have just a sack of gold. Of all the things I would want to have as an offhand, this is one of the few things that it would be. Just give me just money. Just have some stuff hanging out here. That'd be kind of cool. And then we have a shield, which is awesome. Every shield is super awesome. I mean, check out the extra patterning of the bug right on top of the shield. It's really nice. And here is the fetish card. So this is what I was talking about a million years ago when we were showing this on a person's back. You can wear it as a shield, and you can see right here, this is how it looks when it's out and you have it actually equipped. It's pointing down like that, which I think is like really neat. It's very unique for a shield. I haven't seen that style very much at all. Next we have the Dwarven Crown Splitter. Looks like a new style of axe, or at least a more modern style at the very least. Very killer, very stone is what I'm getting out of this. Then we got a gun, very nice gun. This is the Time Marshal's carbine. Got 2 barrels right there, looks pretty sick. And then you can swing and just club someone with the thing too. Catastrophe's Edge. This is an older school weapon, but kind of a goodie. A lot of folks like this one, and we're sporting this one. And here is a version you can get from the trading post for how much? $1.75. We're now breaking into the $1.75 of this. And note how it has that little bit of a particle effect naturally. Now for the fluorescent split blade, you definitely don't want to get stabbed with this thing directly. There's like no coming back from it. You'll just get torn in all sorts of ways. But kind of interesting how they have these extra little blades here on the side. Yeah. Most creatures don't have this kind of mass where you're going to be like shooting this sword like that deep into much of anything. But oh well. Now according to this picture, this is a very large wand. Like look at the size of that thing. And then here it is in the 3D form, but it looks like it's just very big. Now it is a wand, and you very rarely see them out and about. But if you do, in this case, it's going to be really big looking. And then here we have the red version of that set, followed by the yellow and gold. I'm sorry, the gold version. White and gold, there we go. Different set. And we've seen this before. We've seen the bronze hammer arsenal from a little bit before. This one is a really cool one. Really cool. And a lot of folks wanted to pick this up. Now it's going for a little bit cheaper, going for 200 tender. And then there's another version of the color, which I think is it's a red version. Very sweet. So you want to choose which one that you want to smash enemies with, one or the other or both, or you have one on each hand. It's all good. Next we have a silver version of these. So complete with the crackling or the not crackling right here. Yeah. Then we have this Harvester's Claw, which, this is something that I might want to pick up for my Fury Warrior, because these are just nasty looking. Ooh, these are brutal. $250 though. I'm really adding up my costs. Really adding up my costs here. And then we have a staff version of the weapon, the one that goes with the Love Witch outfit. And I think we're going to see another variation of it. You sure are. There it is. Very nice. Oh, with a very cool glow to it as well. And then here's the third version. Again, with the glow. Very nice looking. Very iconic, depending on the anime you watch. So now we have the Gladiator's Battered Greatsword. So this is the one that is sort of trying to look like the whole Varian Rin kind of thing, because you have like the similar look to Charlemagne, plus the branding, which is like, oh, I'm never gonna get this one. It looks really cool though. It looks very, very neat. I'm just kidding about the branding. It's fine. It's all good. Whatever we want. And then here's a different color variation of the same thing. Still very cool. Oh no, there's no end to like the Valentine stuff. So here is the bow that we might have seen a little bit earlier. Very cool. This one's going for, how much? 300 now. We're going to the 300 range, guys, of weapons, which for the outlet, ooh, that's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah, so here's another version of it. And I think there might be like one more. So this is the area version, and then here's the Gothic version of this thing. Some folks pick this up right away because like, yo, I gotta get this style. I gotta sport it right now. But if you've been patient, you'll be saving. I think you're saving. I'm actually still not sure. I think you're saving a little bit here. So now, what do we have here? We have the Skyborn Blades. I believe this is something else that we picked up from the black market if we wanted to, or it came on the trading post, like this stuff right here. Yeah, really cool. And then there's another color set. Here's the other color sets. Very nice. Very clean. You know, with this variation of the original weapons that came from vanilla. But yeah, really good, clean look. You can get the unenchanted version or the enchanted version if you want, or maybe throw something on top of that as well. Then here's the third version. So this kind of has that whole black dragonflight sort of look. Like this is something that if Rathian dual wielded, this is what he'd be sporting for sure. And then finally, we made it to the end. We have the Blazing Fellfire Armament. So this right here is another arsenal set. So you get this crazy looking sword. It's all blazed up, as well as the shield that comes alongside it. So now that it's been about an hour and some, holy moly, is this going to be a save or spend month? Guess what? I'm gonna spend at least 1 or 2 grand of what I have. I think I still have about like 9,000 or something tender, so I have quite a bit saved up. And it's kind of saved up for this. I'm just not 100% sure if I'm actually saving tender that's coming from with what's coming in the outlets. Y'all can let me know in the comments because I'm just doing some pure reactions here. But there are things that I'll probably finally pick up. Some ensembles that I've been meaning to complete, 1 or 2 weapons, and if there happens to be any cheap stuff that I want to grab, all right, cool. Now, as for what is present here, as for what we have available in this month's trading post, I think that there are a couple of things that I may pick up. Like I'm tempted to get this ensemble because it looks really cool. I'm probably gonna get the hat and cloak because I think, well, okay, maybe not that color, but I am liking it though. Sword's pretty good too. And that might be it, at least for this month's stuff. So definitely a spend month for me, but it's going to be things that I'm going to be like picking and choosing from all throughout the previous year's worth of stuff, or previous year's worth of stuff. Because, well, there's been a lot of things that we've seen, and you know, I don't recall if all of these came from like just last year or also the year before. So anyway, let's wrap this up. Let me know what you think in the comments. What you're going to do? You're going to save or spend? And what are you going to get? Please like the video, subscribe for more stuff. Catch me live, and I'll catch you later. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay breezy.